sat down to get the gameplay on a video about cheaters in Call of Duty, and my very first death was probably to a cheater. I'm just looping the gameplay now. This behavior is just so weird and suspicious. He locks onto the sky, shoots for no reason, then locks onto me almost through a wall, times and tracks perfectly. It looks like a guy who's just waiting for his mod to pick up a target and scan something. So, oh boy, this is not the intro I wanted for the video, but okay, let's put this aside and go to the actual video where we talk about cheating in Call of Duty. Hey guys, Drifter here. I've got some crazy news for you today, which is that hackers seem to have taken over Call of Duty's Ricochet Anti-Cheat system. They can tell when the system is scanning for cheats, so they can disable the cheats easily and hide. They seem to be able to disable the anti-cheat system, and frighteningly, they also seem to be able to access Call of Duty's back-end ban system, which means they can just straight up ban regular players or give them timeouts or shadow ban or unshadow ban and do a number of things that are, we'll say, concerning. So today we're going to take a deep dive into what's going on with Call of Duty cheating. We're going to provide sources, and then we're going to talk a little bit about cheating in general. So on the topic of Call of Duty, cheating in Call of Duty has gotten worse over time, but this is true for most online games right now. Every publisher from AAA down to indie is in a sort of never-ending battle against cheaters and hackers, and I remember when running into an aimbot was something that would have happened, I don't know, once a month, every couple of weeks, maybe if I played a ton once a week. But now, if I play regularly, I could run into an aimbot multiple times per one session, per one sitting, per my sitting, which is a pretty short period of time. And yes, in Call of Duty, it's just mostly Call of Duty is where I run into this, but I'm aware that it's true in almost any other game. Almost every game is currently dealing with some sort of cheating or server problem or hacking or some kind of weird thing like that. And the only games that I haven't seen have a lot of cheaters, and at least in the FPS genre, are Valorant. Not a lot of cheaters there. Their anti-cheat's very insane. And there's a lot of little, let's say, strategy games, chess, teamfight tactics, backpack battles, stuff like that. Kind of hard to cheat in a strategy game because having infinite health and God mode and stuff like that doesn't really work. And yes, I can already hear you guys typing out the contents that this is a crossplay problem, that we should just get rid of cross-platform play, make the PC players by themselves, the console players that don't have cheats get completely separated out. No more games are free to play, so if you ban somebody, they can't just make a new account and come back. Even though those things are true in a technical sense, I don't agree about the solutions. I don't think that's really helpful for the entire gaming ecosystem. I still think it's a net benefit to have cross-platform play, even with PC, and some games still be free to play because some models just work better that way. I don't think it's good or fair to just put PC players out on their own, and I hate to tell you guys, you don't want to believe it, you don't want to hear it. It's like Mac users saying they don't get viruses ever because Macs are so great, or they only focus on PCs. Console has hacks too. Consoles have had hacks for a very long time. They're not as common, not as frequent, and not as strong. That's true, but they're still there. So let's jump into the details of what's going on here, and we're going to jump on over to my desktop where I show you source number one, which is Charlie Intel. They're a very reliable source, and they posted this video from what appears to be a cheater Discord group. Speaking of Discord, let's do a quick shout out to the Drifter Discord. I haven't promoted this in years, but it's still going strong. Plenty of active members, a friendly, fun, safe, happy place. It's one of the best run Discords I'm in, and I'm not saying that just because I'm in it. So you're all welcome to check it out. It's linked down there below in the description. But anyway, this is supposed to be a cheating Discord group, and it seems to show that they can turn off Ricochet when it boots up. They can detect the detector, and it can then hide itself as needed to avoid detection. And I'm not sure what it's really kind of showing here. This video is a little bit weird in my opinion. It doesn't show me anything super impressive or convincing, but there are, things going on. I'm personally not educated enough to look at this one video and really know for sure if this is a real thing, because a surprisingly large part of it is just a still image, just a still image of the Discord while the cheats are supposedly doing their things. I guess it takes a few seconds. However, Charlie Intel has historically been a very reliable source. I know the people that run it, I know what they endeavor to do. Very rarely do they misreport, and when they do, they tend to correct themselves. So relying on heuristics, tying back into our Fake News 101 series, I am going to choose to take this reporting at face value because I don't want to go through the effort of investigating every little minutia of it. So I'm going to be putting my faith, so to speak, in Charlie Intel. The next part of this video is by far the craziest. This was posted a few days later by a hacker hunter content creator called It's Hoppa. We'll take a look at him in a second, but he shows an image. It's purported to be cheaters accessing the back-end ban tools on Activision's like Demonware servers and being able to give people bans and reports for various things. Supposedly they can ban and unshadow ban and reshadow ban and do a lot of very bizarre things with your account because they've accessed the Ricochet Anti-Cheat tool, which is frightening. If true, this would also confirm shadow bans. To the best of my knowledge, I don't believe Activision has ever confirmed shadow bans in quite the same way, but I don't have, again, the skills to look at a single screenshot here and know for certain that this is for real or for legit. So let's take a moment and analyze the source and rely on the same heuristical advice that I gave during the Fake News 101 video. So let's go here. This is It's Hoppa. Use code to, okay. I almost had a chuckle. He's got a VPN sponsorship, which is, some people consider that cheating. And let's go to the YouTube channel. That's where I really judge people. So it's relatively new channel. Let's go to videos, and you see on here, I'm going to zoom in on some of these. Most of these videos are about hacker hunting and about how Call of Duty lied to us. They're a little bit more negative. It comes in a few flavors. We've got hacker hunting. We've got Call of Duty hate videos. This is a guy whose bread and butter seems to be exposing cheaters, negative content about COD, and just kind of talking trash to people, I guess, from that video. These, to me, are not very reliable character attributes. So I'll say, again, take this with a massive grain of salt. This isn't exactly coming in from the Associated Press. And that's not to say that It's Hoppa's a bad person or that he's inherently wrong. I'm just telling you, I've got my skepticism. So I would be really reluctant to believe that this is true, but that's the story that's going around. But if really either of these claims, especially the second one, is true, that's very, very troubling that people have software that can access Activision's anti-cheat backend and ban people that aren't cheating. That's scary. So don't put that stuff on your computer. Almost all those cheating softwares are rats, but I do have a fantastic software to recommend in today's sponsored section. If you're a content creator looking for an actual good piece of software to put on your computer that helps you take control of your audio setup, I would like to recommend Mixline Beta from Logitech G. And the cool thing about this promo is it's free. Completely 100% free. Just click this sign up for the beta. You'll give your email address and they'll send a download link. And this is a god tier virtual audio cable audio control program. I've never seen anything this powerful in my life, but I wanted to talk about this from the bed PC because that's where I use it the most. The program itself looks a lot like this, and you can add anything as an audio input. I have Discord, Chrome, League of Legends, the finals, Call of Duty, tons and tons of stuff going on here. And then you can send those audios through these nice colored virtual cables to whatever output you want. This is the output for my big subwoofer. This is my headset. And we have some virtual audio cables as well. They're all color coded, labeled. You can adjust both inputs and outputs, instantly mute, change the routing. And then over here in OBS, you might notice I have 3 microphone tracks. That's because I have one for my microphone and then one for each of these virtual cables, so that I always output triple channel audio. Makes it way easier to edit videos in post. Obligatory, yes, that's my background. I love it. I'm not ashamed of it. Let's keep going. Mixline is amazing. Mixline is free. I use this not only on the bed PC, but the big PC. It does a lot of very, very impressive stuff, and I would highly encourage you to check it out. If you're a content creator, if you're a streamer, especially if you're on a single PC, this is the best thing you can put on it. Moving along, I wanted to talk about how cheating in general is kind of getting outrageous. There was a time when cheaters were detected relatively rapidly and banned, and you would of course still run into cheaters, but rarely would you see the same cheater more than once. You wouldn't get the same cheater in every lobby. They would eventually be banned. You could just not match with them. Now you can get stuck with cheaters game after game after game, same ones, and you can report until the end of the time and it doesn't do anything. Even like back in the day, if you had a J-tagged Xbox and you got banned, you couldn't go back online. You'd have to buy a new Xbox. So there was a big barrier of entry. But with free-to-play games, the way the system's set up, how easy it is to get in, if you get banned, it's very easy to just make a new account and come back immediately, or maybe just not get detected and not get banned whatsoever. It's kind of insane. And I think that cheating has always been more visible in the FPS genre because of how easy it is to spot truly impossible human behavior, to get, 15 headshots in a row on a target that moves across the screen so fast it's only a couple of frames. Like weird jitter mods and twitches and snap aims. It's really jarring and visual. That doesn't mean that other games don't have cheats and cheater problems. I mean, God, I couldn't tell you how many various invincibility or invisibility glitches I've seen in RTS games or MMORPGs. Those do tend to be bugs instead of exploits. But I think that they're just generally easier to spot in an FPS game. And I'm spotting them all the time. I'm going to let you guys know I'm a sick man. My job for today is to sit up in this chair and do this commentary, and I probably won't be upright too much after this. That's how much gaming I get in. And I still run into cheaters all the freaking time. If I do a regular short gaming session, I'm expecting to see at least 1, if not 2 to 3 cheaters. That's kind of my average. And it doesn't really seem to matter what game. We've mostly talked about Call of Duty, but it really affects all games. Even brand new games will come out and have aimbots and cheats working just hours after launch. As a matter of fact, I think sometimes it's worse to play games when they're new because they will have even more cheaters. And I suspect that developers are stuck in this ever-escalating battle of cheats versus anti-cheats. It's kind of like how military submarines have radar, and they have a radar detector, and then another one might have a radar detector, and then a radar detector about 40 layers down, because they're all kind of escalating. It's like, somebody builds a bigger lock, they build a bigger lock pit. They've uncrackable algorithm, somebody finds some weird way to crack it, right? And game developers are stuck in this bad situation, but as of right now, it seems that very few games truly have cheating under control. Valorant, maybe as an example, not that many cheaters there. They're still there. Don't get me wrong. They're still there. It's just not crazy bad like Call of Duty. At the end of this video, I wanted to take a moment to just make fun of cheaters for how pathetic they are. Imagine waking up in the morning, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, you know what? I'm going to go ruin a couple hundred people's day. And just like, yeah, that's going to make me feel good. Imagine not having enough self-confidence to even want to develop your own skills, and instead want to spend some of mommy and daddy's credit card money to buy cheats to fill that hole in your ego where your self-confidence is absent. And I'm not talking about kids, okay? I'll tell you the truth here. I experimented a little bit with cheats when I was like 11 and 12. Little kids want to have power fantasies. They want to win. They want to troll on you. They're immature. And almost everybody does a little cheating sometimes. I'm not talking about people that just, oh, the bug is funny, let's play with it until it gets patched. I'm talking about the people that are true, lifetime, chronic, addicted cheaters. They're like, 35 years old, living in the mom's basement, and they feel bad about themselves because they can't get a girlfriend, or really just like a friend in general. So in order to feel better, they spend money to buy cheats to go ruin other people's days online. It's really kind of sad that they don't have anything better to do with their lives. I believe this type of behavior is not very different than just walking around a public park and knocking over people's chests and mahjong boards and maybe kicking kids' balls over the fence so that they can't play. It's actually kind of exactly the same behavior. The only difference is that they don't have to be there in person to deal with the consequences. They just get to be bad and not have consequences. So of course they're going to be as bad as possible. So I want to be angry at cheaters because so many games have been ruined because of how frustrating it is to play with them, because the motivations are so poor. But the truth is, instead of anger in my heart, I actually feel kind of a sadness. It's almost like a sickness to look out and see that hundreds of thousands of people are down so bad and so desperate for even the tiniest, smallest little pea-sized ego boost or feeling of accomplishment or worth in their life, that they have to resort to buying that instead of earning it. That's a sadness in and of itself. And that in doing so, they steal it from others. I think very, very, very poorly of cheaters, if you haven't noticed here. And that's just my personal opinion. Guys, that's all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.